Well, hello, you gorgeous mother truckers, and welcome to another video. Yeah, it's one of those pre-recorded ones, and you're probably watching this while I'm doing whatever I'm doing in Torquay at the time. Any case, another sign of the insane madness of this country of ours with its wonderful justice system. So, mother arrested and held in cell for confiscating child's iPad. No, I shit you not, this is an actual thing. Mother arrested and held in police cell for 7 hours after confiscating child's iPad. A mother of two has told the LBC of the unspeakable devastation and trauma she experienced, have been arrested for confiscating her child's iPad. History teacher Vanessa Brown, 50, spent 7.5 hours in a custody cell on March 26 this year following a claim she'd stolen 2 iPads that were traced to her mother's house in Cobham, Surrey. Yet it transpired that 2 devices belonged to her daughters, and Miss Brown had merely confiscated them to encourage them to focus on their schoolwork, a fact Surrey police has now acknowledged. You maybe had to do some investigation instead of just being draconian arseholes like you usually are, Surrey police. I find it quite traumatic even talking about this now, Miss Brown recalled. I can bloody well imagine. At no point did they, the officers, think to themselves, oh, this is a bit of an overreaction for a moment to confiscating temporarily her iPads, popping over to her mum's to have a coffee. Complete overreaction? Not with the idiots that we employ in the police force now. They're brain-dead drongos who just do exactly as they're told without thinking or questioning. Now you wonder why things are going like they are. Wonder if it had been a Boglin's mum and dad that would have been this overreaction. Any case, I thought it was thoroughly unprofessional. They were speaking to my mother, who was in her 80s, like she was a criminal. The police, Surrey, said the search operation for the devices started after a man in his 40s reported the possible theft, having been called out for a concern of safety on March 26. Miss Brown had taken to Staines Station, where she was being searched, had her fingerprints and custody shots taken before being placed in a police cell for several hours. Surrey police also sent officers to a children's school, pulling her daughter out of class in the process. Jesus, guys, do you want to do anything else to completely mentally scar and damage everybody? You brain-dead thugs? Literally, none of you have got a brain, have you? None of you. Her ordeal's companion, however, when she learned from her bail conditions, would prevent her from seeing her children on Mother's Day. It wasn't until midnight that Miss Brown returned to her mother's house, nearly 12 hours after the officers first arrived. Catatonic state, it says. She told LBC she suffered sleepless night and was left in a catatonic state by the experience. Questions have been raised over the length of time it took for officers to determine no further action needed to be taken against Miss Brown, which took over 24 hours from when she was arrested. This could have been solved by sitting down and acting like a bunch of adults, but no, we don't employ adults. We've employed industrial machines that have no brains, can't think for themselves, and only do as they're told. Just following orders, boss, yeah? Worked out well for the last lot that said that. Comes to me concern how the officers are using their time after a couple in Boreham Wood were arrested. I remember that I haven't done this one, but we'll cover it now. In Hertfordshire Police, following criticism of a local school on parents' WhatsApp chat, because of course that was very important. They dared criticise the school, so some poor git's feelings were hurt, so they called the police. The police then turned up. I think it was 6. 6 officers turned up to arrest them. That was fun. For a disagreement on WhatsApp. I mean, literally the thought police. They are the machine now. They aren't police officers anymore. They just really aren't. It's a concern that Miss Brown echoed after following arrest. They were able to send a police car with police officers to my children's school. They were able to send another police car and 2 to arrest me. I know these people are making reports of thefts, of assaults and very violent crimes in and around the neighbourhood, but they're not getting any of these responses these days. Now, for instance, Land Rover's just up the road from me, and one day I was picking one of my son up from school, coming past it, and there was police everywhere. I've never seen so many police. In fact, I'd actually forgot what police look like round here because I never see them. But it turned out it's because Keir Starling and Air by Lego were at Land Rover, pretending to give a shit. I cannot get to the bottom of why my arrest was done in such a quick turnaround. Colours of skin. All these police cars were going into an address over a completely false report of theft. Former Police and Crime Commissioner Anthony Stansfield condemned Surrey Police for the handling of Ms Brown and suggested the force should apologise. They shouldn't apologise, they should use their fucking brains and realise they're a bunch of idiots. Seems to me incompetence and a certain amount of zealous at the junior level, which the local inspector should have put a rapid stop to, Mr Stansfield said. No, they're all part of it. In fact, the higher you go up, the more woke and stupid they are. It's quite unnecessary for a reputable 50-year-old history teacher to be in a cell for 7 hours. It's hardly like she was going to have scommed abroad, and I hope the chief constable goes and apologises personally to the poor lady. And if he was me and he came up to me and I was there, I'd go, if I was Ms Brown, I'd go, do yourself a favour, fuck off, you dick. In response to Ms Brown's account, a Surrey police spokesman said they were originally alerted by the potential theft by a man in his 40s, and the officer had attended a property where the occupant was questioned about the iPads. He denied any knowledge about where their whereabouts were. Who is this man in his 40s? Are we talking ex-husband here? Or ex-boyfriend? Maybe. And if it is something else that should have been obvious, but I don't know. Spokesman, however, a tracking device on the iPad showed their address, and a 50-year-old woman from Cobham was arrested on suspicion of theft. Really? You brain-dead morons. A search was then carried out using post-arrest powers, and the iPads were located. You could have gone, have you got some iPads? Yes, I have. Where are they? They're there, officer. They're my daughter's, and I've confiscated them because they were being little shits and they weren't doing their own work. In the old days, they'd have gone, that's not a problem. But no, we arrest her, drag her out, don't even ask where the fucking iPads are. We search the property instead, because that's how clever we are. The woman was subsequently released on conditional bail while further inquiries were carried out. The police bail conditions included not speaking to her daughters who were connected to the investigation while the officers carried out their inquiries. You are morons. You are thick, stupid, idiotic morons. Unbelievable. Following these inquiries, officers discovered the iPads belonged to the woman's children if she entitled to confiscate them from her own children. You could have done that by... I'm ready for this. You could have done this. I'm going to bring myself up. You could have solved all of this by fucking asking her what was going on. No need to arrest her. No need to take her down to the police station. No need to stop her from seeing her kids on Mother's Day. No one needs for all these police to turn up. You could have just gone, hello, I've just been told that these iPads are missing there. Yeah, well, I've confiscated them because my kids are being knobheads. Oh, okay, well, I'm ever so sorry for your bother. Have a nice day. And off you trottle. No, these lot... because they are affected by the white worm virus, and because somebody said something, and because they can't think, they have the procedure, and they can't think outside the procedure. These are very much akin. They're no longer police officers who use intelligence and common sense and world experience to decide what's going on. They are like the people who you phone at a call centre that if it isn't on the computer screen and you ask them a question that doesn't exist, they don't understand it, they can't do it. They've got to follow the process. We no longer police a country. We follow documents. We follow pieces of paper. We follow a and if it's not on there, we can't do it because we don't employ people with fucking brains anymore. Common sense is out the window. We want university degree students who can't think for themselves, or they are go on a university course. I've seen them. They're all drips. They're all. I mean, you've seen them on there. They're completely incapable of even slightly intimidating anyone. And if it's not written down on a piece of paper, they don't know what they're doing. This is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And yet it happens time and time and time again. When people have their feelings hurt because little wordies have upset them, they send the police round, and the police, instead of just going, yeah, so they'll upset them. Yeah, you got upset by the words. They offended you. Yep. Fucking grow up. Put the phone down. No, we waste police resources chasing after them. And then when somebody actually gets stabbed to death in the street, well, I'm sorry the police took the time to turn up. I mean, we've had it here. I had right opposite my house, car, lose control, crashed through a wall. The police came and they arrested. There was a woman and a man in there, and they arrested the man. Now, I turned around and said, I've got the whole incident on CCTV. Let me go and have a look at it, and I'll let you know, and I'll give it you. Okay. So, meanwhile, the rest of the bloke, they've gone. They let the girl go. The girl's gone with mummy. Everything's fine. They're sorting the car out. They got what they want. Meanwhile, on the CCTV, it's quite obvious that the girl was driving, and she's the one who crashed the car, even so much so that she got out and they swapped seats, and he tried to reverse it off the drawer, even though he was drunk. I told the police officer this. I told them I got the CCTV. That was 5 months ago. And, yeah. Nothing. Couldn't give a fuck. So there's a guy who's been arrested who was nothing to do with it. And the girl who'd caused the accident, who, at the time when I arrived, she was the one who looked most suspicious to me because of her body language. She got away with it. And I've got video evidence. I've still got it on computer in case, one day they decide to maybe grow a brain and take the advice of somebody who's actually got the whole thing on camera. But, yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. We don't police anymore. We have to follow what's written down. And if it's not written down, I can't think for myself because I'm an idiot. So shit like this will carry on happening because the police can't think. They can't think. If this had been a boggling who'd had this issue, they wouldn't have even turned up. They'd have not seen any of them. Not one solitary person. Any case, 2 videos coming up. One will be the last one uploaded. The other one will be picked for you by the mighty algorithm of the YouTube. That is called The Chosen One. If you agree with what I'm saying, like what I'm doing, you just hit the subscribe button. You can like, you can share, you can even attempt to send a comment through on the comment section. That's, of course, if YouTube doesn't take it away. And I'm guaranteeing you now, I have only deleted 5 comments since this channel started. Just 5. Doesn't help, does it? Any case, I need a drink. Enough of that. I'm done. So, till the next one.
What the fuck is this?